We show up in the party. We show up in the party.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Astronaut. I'm back with another tutorial. This is my very first Unreal Engine tutorial, and I'm going to be working with Unreal Engine 5 since it's 2022 and Unreal Engine 4 is kind of obsolete for me. Anyway, so yeah, I recently published, actually last month, I published my first game, Guns of Pain, on August 25th, and I am working on my second game, which is going to be much better than the first one because I learned the basics and now I can just branch out to a little quite more sophisticated features. But yeah, the first game definitely came in handy. So yeah, I'd also like to show you how to make your own games, how you can make your own games like I did. So without further ado, let's get into Unreal Engine and I'll show you how to make your character walk. It's not actually going to be a mess. This is going to be probably in the next tutorial I make about Unreal Engine, but for now I'm just going to be showing you how to make a nice blueprint that can walk around as a first person camera, and like the controls, like specifically how to move, jump, crouch, and also move your mouse and change your view accordingly, and also strafe with the right and left arrows. Yeah, so let's get into it. As you may be able to see, I have updated my desktop. It's a new desktop, and I also updated the banner and the profile picture of Astronaut. And yeah, I generally created a tutorial project, like a project in Unreal Engine 5, so that we don't waste much time. And I will show you how to create a project from scratch here as well. So let it load. Alright, so once it has loaded, your recent projects are going to be over here, but let's go over here to games and create a blank project. So you can see that those are templates. This is a first person template, third person top down. Well, the first person is during the POV camera, the character's eyes basically. In the third person you can see the character from behind, and in the top down it's like you're looking at everything you're seeing everything from above, and everything is below you, and the wheels it probably uses the chaos blueprint, the chaos asset. Anyway, it's an asset, it's a plugin for wheels, handheld AR, which is for phones. I imagine I've never used any of these templates. I always start my projects from blank, and virtual reality is VR, obviously. So yeah, in this case we're going to be starting a project from blank with using a blueprint, not C++, and the target platform is going to be desktop because all of the input keys are going to be for desktop, for a keyboard and mouse, and the quality preset is going to be set to maximum. The character content, just select that because we need the starter content. I'm sorry. The ray tracing, I always set that to true, so that we have more realistic lighting. And let's name the project something like, you can actually name it whatever you want. I have already created a project that I'm going to open, but yeah, I've done nothing else. I've just selected these options and nothing else. Okay, so name your project and then hit create. So now we're going to wait for it to load, and it will probably, if you've never worked with Unreal Engine, it will probably take you quite a lot of time for it to load, because it's the first time you create the project, and actually it does take a lot of time, like always, to open a project. But just something I have realized is that if you open the project once. If you open the project once and then close it and then open it again, it will take less time. Just thought it was something that was worth putting out there. And yeah, so in this case I opened it a little before I made this tutorial, just so that we did not waste a lot of time with this. So yeah, you can see that it's kind of loading a little faster than it may be loading for you. Alright, so now I paused the recording and now it's finished loading and it should open right now, like you can see that. Okay, so this is the minimal default. This is probably where you're going to be for the beginning. Now I usually delete those and import my own map, but but for this tutorial we're going to start the content, maps, and then let's go over here to starter map and leave minimal default as it is. Now it should load. Oh my god, that was so lengthy, bro. No. Okay. I don't know why it couldn't but it couldn't open the starter map. That's okay, we will work with this one. Let me just scale this up a bit so that we can move. Well, yeah, okay, let's scale it up like this and also like that. Okay, and now let's hit Ctrl S to save. And now, so this is the first thing you probably see, and well, this is not really a lot. You can see a couple of problems here. First of all, we're flying. We don't want that. We're flying actually with the WAS and D keys, and there is this blur all around. So first of all, let's go and fix this blurry thingy. So the way to do that is go to Edit, Project Settings, and once the project settings open up, search for motion blur. Okay, and now deselect that. And now if we hit play, you can see we're still flying around. That's not good, but you can see that there is not that blur that we might not like. So there is also the starter background cue. This is the audio, it's the bird chirping and everything. Well, I'm going to delete that. You might not have a problem with that, but I'm going to delete it because I don't want it to be heard along with my voice. And now let's create our character from scratch. So with Control Space, we open up the browser, the asset browser, and there is content, all content, and starter content. So over here to content, I will right click, select to create a new folder, and I am going to name this folder blueprints, and that's how a lot of programmers work in Unreal Engine. And basically over here we store all of our blueprints. And what are blueprints? They are basically functional they are pieces of code that function so that we basically write our code in them. That's all you need to know for now. And let's select let's right click, blueprint class, character, and this is going to be our character blueprint. Let's name this my character is kind of cliche, so I'm going to go with astronaut or something. You can choose whatever you want, and this is a great example to demonstrate that you cannot have any spaces or semicolons or anything. So astro underscore nut, and okay, so now let's double click to open that up. Okay, so it's finally opened, and yeah, now you can see this is the viewport. This is our collision mesh. This is our default capsule, and we'll get do that in later tutorials, because and the radius and the height over here later on, but for now, since we're first person, we don't really need to do anything with that. Okay, so here the event graph is where you're going to be doing all your code for your character, basically. And well, actually, let's delete all of these. And so yeah, every time you make a change to your blueprint, you need to hit compile so that it works, and then Control S or just this button to save. And now it is perfectly clear and we can write new code. But first of all, first of all we need to make our character be able to walk. Okay, and now, so the way to do that is go over here to edit project settings, and once you do that, you need to go down here, scroll down to input, and you can see here action mappings and axis mappings. So axis mappings usually are the rotation and the movement. So that's what we're going to select for now for the walking. And action mappings are something like punch, jump, crouch, whatever. And let's just add an axis mapping. I'm sorry. And let's open that up, and so let's name it forward and backward. So put those together, and I'm going to show you why. Yes. So first of all, this is how you input it. So if you also may hit that plus button, you have two ways to enter it. So if you want to be able to go forward with your W key, just select this, or go for all the way here to keyboard and then W or whatever. But I usually click this button, then W. And then if you want another key, so for instance the forward key, to do that as well, the up key, the up arrow, just do that as well. For now I'm just going to stick with the basics and go with W. Okay, so now you can see that this scale is 1. Okay, leave that as it is and hit the plus button, and then S to go backwards, and now -1. So obviously 1 means that we're going forward, and -1 means that we're going backward. And that's probably intuitive. So yeah, right click over here to add a new node, and everything we're going to be working with is a node. So now let's go to, actually let's before we do that, let's go to edit project settings again, I'm sorry, and input, and then let's add a new axis mapping, and we're going to name this one left, right. Okay, now with actually right, left, that plays a role. Actually the name doesn't play a role, but you should know that we're going to first set the right and then the left. Anyway, so now over here to D, so D for right, and then hit the plus button so that we add the left one, and that's going to be A. That's going to be -1, like we did with the forward and backward. And now let's go over here, forward and backward. So select this axis event over here, and yeah, now let's go over here, add movement input. So target, leave that to self, world direction, actually let's make this axis value to scale value over here, and then world direction is going to be get forward actor forward vector. And okay, let me just explain what we did over here. So this one is the event, compile and save. Yeah, this one is the event. Then we add the movement input, and that's basically that we're going to be moving when we select the axis event. Now the purpose, these arrows over here mean that we're just going to connect. There is this going to be the sequence. Once this happens, this is going to happen. Okay, those mean a sequence. not the sequence. Don't remember that as a sequence, because that's an order that we're going to see later on. So the order that you're going to be making those. So this first one, this is going to happen. First of all, this is going to happen. Then this is going to happen. So here it's asking us for some values. The scale value, just put that into axis value, and that means that whatever axis we're moving towards is going to be that. And the world direction is to which direction. So we get the forward vector of our actor, and over here this arrow means that this is the forward vector. This is the forward. It shows to which direction we are going to be moving, to which direction is set to forward, the forward direction. And now let's do the same thing for right left. Okay, so axis event right left. Note that whatever you name the axis event or the action event, whatever, yeah, this axis event, the name of this axis event, you search for it like right left. It does not the program does not just know that we're right left, because we created an axis event with the name right left. This is why it stores it like that. Yeah, so again, add movement input. We could probably have copied and pasted that, but anyway. So yeah, axis value, once again scale value, but here get actor right vector. Yeah. Okay, so exactly what we did with this one, but this one is going to be the right vector. So forward right vector. And so yeah, this is why it was important that we set the this is why it was important that we set the movement to the right first as the 1, the scale 1. So it was positive 1 and left was negative 1, if you remember. This is why, because if the left one was the positive 1 value, it was going to go right when we wanted it to go left. So hopefully this makes sense for you guys. And yeah, so now let's select all of those and hit C so that we add a comment. This is not necessary, but just so that you can find them easily. If you have a lot of code, you find your separate parts of the code easily. Okay, so C to comment, and then let's make that movement. Yeah, let's name that movement, and let's set these. You can change the color from here. So those are the details. These are quite important. So whatever you select, almost whatever you select, has a details panel. And yeah, so movement, whatever. Yeah. Whatever. It's going to be perfect. Okay, so now let's make the mouse the mouse commands. Okay, yeah. So oh wait, I forgot to make mouse action mapping, axis mapping. I'm sorry. Okay, so now rotate right left. Now I'm sorry, wait, mouse X. Yeah, you have to search for that one. Okay, and yeah, now wait, I'm sorry, yeah, rotate up down, although I'm pretty sure that this one is going to be cancelled when we make our game a third person game, whatever, mouse Y, yeah, and yeah, whatever, yeah. Okay, so I think you need to make this a -1. So now what did I name it? Right, it should have right, left. Is it rotate, right, left, and then get yaw. I always forget what that is. Get mouse yaw. Wait, I will let me just search for yaw. I always forget. Oh, add controller yaw input. Almost, yeah. So yeah, the value, let's do that, and if it doesn't know if I'm wrong, anyway, rotate up, down, and then instead of yaw, add controller pitch input, pitch. Anyway, and let's go value, access value. Yeah, I might have forgotten to add something else too. Maybe we needed a -1, -1, and +1 as well. Anyway, we'll see that mouse commands. Let's make this green, blue, something like that. Okay, now let's make an action jumping and action event, action mapping. Anyway, yeah, and that's going to be our jump. So let's name that jump. So I'm going to be jumping with space and jump. Okay, yeah, so press the jump. I had to check whether we needed to do anything else for the mouse commands. We did everything right, apparently. We'll see that. So yeah, jump, and then out of released, we're going to search for stop jumping. Yeah, and yeah, so over here now, if we don't set, we need to set how high our character can jump, otherwise they're going to just go up eternally. And for this reason, for this purpose, let's make a get max hold, max jump hold, something like that. Don't remember their names. Set jump, yeah, whatever. Set jump, max hold time. Okay, so I need to stress that I really remember a lot more for in Unreal Engine, but this is generally the first part, so I'm not very good at setting the basic controls. I'm better at making animations and everything. So anyway, yeah, so set max jump hold time. So now you can definitely select that and then change the value over here to whatever you want it to be, but it's always, well, the more you can work with variables in Unreal Engine, the better, because then you can customize a lot more. So if you want your jump to change at some point, you can set it, set the variable to another. Well, let me just demonstrate what I'm talking about. So if at some point, so like for instance, you had you after you stop jumping, you set the max hold time to something more. So if it was 2 originally and then you wanted it to be like 4 or something, you can definitely do that, but you could just make a variable and then name it jump height or something. Jump height, yeah. And let's let's make it a float. A float is basically a number, but it's like an integer, like if you remember my Python tutorials. But an integer is just, it can't be a decimal point. It can just be 1, 2, 3, or yeah, you know, obviously. Or a float though can be 1.2, 1.3, whatever. And yeah, so hit on that, click that, I symbol, and that means that in the editor you can just edit it. Just click on that, it's not going to harm you. If you don't, you can obviously not do that. So yeah, so once you compile the blueprint, you are going to see the details tab here, and you can change the variables values. So let's set it to 2. Okay, and what this does is it basically for now it does nothing, but if you drag it and drop it over here, you can see that the jump max hold time, which is basically, I will tell you what it is equal to is whatever we set the variables value to be. So if then you wanted the jump time to increase, you could just drag in this variable over here and then set the variable and set it to something like 4, and then it would change. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. The more you can work with variables, the better. Okay, just remember that. And yeah, so the jump Unreal Engine does not use inches, it does not use centimeters, it does not use meters, whatever, feet or something, to determine how much we have some height, for instance the jump height or the fall damage height. No, it does that with time, with seconds. So the time, that's basically what it is. The time is how many seconds we jump. So the jump height over here is 2. It does not mean 2 meters, it means that we jump for 2 seconds. You can obviously set that to whatever you want, but I like it that way. So yeah, now okay, so C to comment, then jump. Okay, jump, whatever. Let's set that to a blue because we have no blue over here. Anyway, and this was for jump. Now let's crouch. Okay, so I go over here to the input again, and then action mappings, crouch. Now because jump and okay, so I'm going to set C to do that. So because jump and crouch are very mainstream in games, Unreal Engine does have this jump and this stop jumping and the jump max hold time. It has them set by default, but if you want a punch, you don't say punch, stop punching. Okay, just remember that those are special occasions. Those the movement as well. I will show you something else about the movement later on. And yeah, so let's go over here to crouch. So yeah, crouch. Okay, so press crouch. You can see that it has the crouch event by default. These are events, these are functions actually. These are functions, I'm sorry, those are events. And released uncrouch, but in order for that to work, you definitely need to go to the character movement first, and then can character movement, okay, can crouch. Okay, so you can see character movement capabilities: can jump, can walk, can swim, can crouch. Okay, so can crouch for some reason is not set by default, so yeah, you need to so if you go over here to the defaults, you can just jump, walk and swim. So yeah, remember to set crouch to be enabled, and let's just delete that. Okay, and now let's hit C for a comment, and then crouch. Okay, yeah, and the crouch, let that be pink, I don't know why, or a green or whatever, because yeah, okay, anyway, it just looks funky. I don't know why, it just looks nice and funky. So and now those are, wait, actually let me show you what I was talking about for the character movement. Yeah, let me just whoop. Okay, and now character movement. So actually no, wait. Now once we start playing, so event begin play. Okay, so let me explain what this does. You are going to be using this a lot in every single game you make. I'm almost certain you're going to be using this. What this means is that once you join the game, this is going to happen. Now if you have already used this, you can make a if you have some, wait, let me, for instance, let's crouch here, let's crouch, yeah, and this is just a demonstration. You're not going to crouch when you enter the game, that's going to be stupid. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to crouch but then also jump when you enter the game, you cannot do the two things. So the way to do that, to have two pieces of code after one event or something, is sequence. This is, yeah, the sequence. So then 0 and then 1. That means that it's going to do this, but this as well. Okay, so we obviously don't need any one of those. Now set max walk speed. Okay, so let me just explain what this is going to do and why you can't see it right now. Anyway, so what this is going to do is determine how fast you're going to be going. Now I'm pretty sure that Unreal Engine has a 600 or 300. It's either one. It's one of those two. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that one of those is the default speed. Okay, so this is the speed of when you're walking. Okay, so yeah, context sensitive, untick that, and then set max walk speed and set max walk speed crouched. I'm going to talk about both of these, but first of all, let's go for the simplest one. Yeah, okay, you can obviously imagine what they do, but anyway, set max walk speed. So yeah, let me just get max walk speed and see. Okay, yeah, okay, so by default, yeah, I just wanted to see this. By default it's set to 600 centimeters per second. Okay, so this is the default walk speed, but it's kind of well, it's kind of very very fast. So 300 is cool, and most games use 300. Okay, yeah. So in order for that not to show you an error, you need to take the character movement from here. It's going to be there by default. I don't think you can delete it either. No, you can delete it. You cannot delete it. That's what I'm saying. Don't mistake it. And now, yeah, you can see no errors, nothing. Okay, so event begin play. So once we join the game, our walk speed is going to be 300 centimeters per second. Remember 300, that's all you need to know. Okay, so there is also the crouch speed, which I'm not very sure what it is as either. So yeah, get max walk speed crouched. Let's see what that is. It's 300. We don't want that to be 300. So yeah, context sensitive again. For now, we're going to untick it right now. Okay, so yeah, let's put that over here, and let's get the sequence that I was talking about. So we need to do two things, and then one, set max walk speed, and untick that, walk speed crouched. Okay, so yeah, so set that to be whatever you want. I'm going to make it be 100, and then character movement is going to be the target once again, because yeah, it needs to know for whom we're talking about. Self is not going to work apparently. So yeah, character movement, and let's put that over here so that it's like, yeah, you know. And this is basically all the code. If you want to execute more code when you join, you can just click on that add pin button, and yeah, I'm not going to comment those because the event begin play we need to find it often anyway. And now we can go ahead and close our blueprint. Finally, now let's make another blueprint. Oh no. Okay, yeah, don't worry, it's not going to be that bad. Okay, blueprint class, this one is very much simpler. So game mode base is without, wait, yep. Okay, so get a game mode base and let's name this not my game mode, no, not my, I don't, okay, pro mode, dub, anyway, yeah. So pro mode, and double click to open the tab, open full blueprint editor, and then go over here and set the default pawn class to be the class the pawn we created, the character we created, so it's gonna be astronaut. And yep, okay, so now let's go to world settings, and if you cannot see world settings, go to window over here and world settings, because by default you're not going to be able to see world settings, so do that. Okay, yeah. Also, you if someone watches it, you can stress that in the comments the time when I show you where you can find the world settings, because people are going to get pissed. They're not going to be able to see that, and if they don't remember this part, they're not going to have a fully functional game. Yeah, so yeah, world settings, game mode override, yeah, none. Okay, so go over here to select pro mode and Control S to save. Now this should work. Let's see if this works. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh wait. Okay, so that's working. Oh, I was kind of surprised. I thought we needed to actually make a player start. I'm going to explain what that is in a minute. Yeah, you obviously know what that is. Okay, so yeah, W we go forward, S we go backwards, A we go left, D we go right. We can mess around with that, and obviously if we move the mouse, we look around and we see that that thing over here, the vase. I always think it's, yeah, whatever that is. And yeah, then we can jump. We jump kinda high. I'm going to change that. Oh no. Okay. Oh no. And we can crouch, but you probably saw that before because we now fell. Okay, let me just set the jump height to something like 1, actually maybe 0.5. Let's see how that is. Well, that's still kinda high. I'm gonna make it a 0.2. Yeah, so hopefully this worked for you guys, and actually no, I'm not going to end this tutorial just now. First of all, I'm going to show you something else. Let's see how we can sprint now, shall we? It's actually very easy. Okay, so go over here to project settings. This is a bonus thing, yeah. So go over here to project settings, input, and then action mappings, just +1, and then sprint or run or whatever. Yeah, sprint, and then go over here to shift. Okay, left shift. You can, if you wanna do it with right shift, just click on the plus button and then right shift as well. But I'm just going to leave it for the left shift. Sprint. And now let's go over here to sprint. Okay, let's find the sprint event and drag that down here. So pressed. Now it's very simple. Generally set max walk speed. Okay, set again. So yeah, this is a very nice demonstration of what happens when you want to, well, when you want to change something. So the max walk speed is generally you can also make a variable for that, but I'm just going to work with the numbers here. like we did with jump height, you can make a variable. But anyway, so set max walk speed, and we have a value here, and then I said that when we sprint, so when we hit shift, you can go ahead and set that to 600. And now, yeah, the target is character movement. Yeah, I forgot that. Okay, so now instead of doing that, instead of working for set max walk speed again, I'm going to Control D to duplicate, and that makes a copy. Or you can Control C and then go over here to Control V, and then that duplicates once again. And now we want to set the max walk speed to be the initial walk speed that we had, and with 300. So yeah, instead of doing that, I'm just going to take my sprint. I'm going to take my sprint, drag that down here, and then do something like, wait, okay, yeah, let's drag that a little, no, all this a little lower, and check this out. Sprint is up here, yeah, and off of released, I'm going to set it back to 300, and boom, that works. That's going to set that to the same so once we join, this is set to that, but once we release the sprint, it's also set to 300. So let's see what that does. Okay, this is 300 walk speed, and then you can see that we're now going fast. Oh no, okay, we're going faster because I sprint, but then once we okay, so now I'm shift, so now I'm not sprinting, now I'm not. Okay, so you can probably notice the difference, and we can still jump. Oh, okay, we can crouch, and you can see that when we crouch, we are obviously a lot slower. That's what we wanted, because we set our nice crouch speed to 100. So this is it for the let me just close this. Yep, okay, so that has been it for this tutorial. I hope you guys got some basic knowledge. I hope that you're motivated to work with the Unreal Engine. It's actually, spoiler alert, it's actually very much easier than you might think, because a lot of people get scared. I should know, I really got scared. This is a life lesson, whether I got scared before I started making games. I was so scared of Unreal Engine, of basically every game engine that existed, like Unreal Engine, Unity. I feared them like they were something bad for me, like they were something so difficult I could never understand. But that was actually the case with Synfig Studio, with Blender, with Python, and with Unreal Engine. But Unreal Engine was always the scariest one, and it's actually the easiest one. No, it's not actually the easiest one, but after a couple of months of practicing, even after a couple of hours of practicing, actually, you're going to start feeling familiar with the program, because it's user friendly. And after a couple of months, like I am here right now, your mind is just, I need to solve something. And there are times where I really struggle. I'm not going to lie, there are times when I really struggle, but at sometimes my mind just instantly finds a solution. It's like, yeah, you should do that, and I'm like, okay, let's try it, but then it solves the problem. So you shouldn't, my point here is that you shouldn't be afraid of Unreal Engine. You should embrace it, and once you start making your own games, you're going to feel so much satisfaction that you're not going to be able to describe it. Don't miss out on this opportunity. I felt like I couldn't do it a lot of times in the past, and I quit. But now, this time, I was determined. I was really determined that I could make a simple game, and this tutorial is actually a very good way to start. So yeah, I hope that you learned how to start, and you got a main idea of what Unreal Engine feels like. The nodes are pretty user friendly, they are pretty easy to use, and it's kind of an intuitive program at times. But don't worry, even when it's not, future tutorials are going to be on their way, and I'm going to be helping you, also stressing out mistakes that I made or something that you should watch for that you might instinctively, just subconsciously, just forget, and because that has happened to me. But then I go back and I see it's like, no, this was the problem. Are you serious? That, like, programming does have that a lot of times. Oftentimes it's just this little thing that you forgot, and that ruins your entire code. But yeah, enough blah blah for now. I've been making this tutorial for the past hour, so yeah, I feel sorry for you guys that you have to sit in front of your screen and just watch me go on for ages. Like, yeah. Okay, so yeah, with that being said, I hope to see you in future tutorials. I hope that your time was worth it, and yeah, keep programming. I hope that you're going to make your own game, and also post a link in the description of one of my videos, maybe this one too, so that if you publish it, and so that I play. Remember, Itch.io is a very nice website to make your game. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye.
That's the stuff. I should watch more videos.